Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was a little loud, sorry. That'll wake you up. My name is Dusty Molyneux. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our summer celebration concert with the Great Falls Municipal Band. We're kicking off our 130th year this year. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And as you can see, we've got some special guests here, so we're excited to have the choir from Great Falls College join us, and they're going to lead us in the national anthem with the wonderful flag presentation from our police department. So, would you please rise for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem?
Breathe in.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Shoulder. Right. Hey. Hold. Push.
That was an old Carl King march, but it's new to this band. We actually didn't have that one in our library, and we went out on our little interlibrary loan within the Municipal band world and found a nice copy of that and brought it to you today. So Carl King, the kid who ran away and literally joined the circus when he was a teenager, and ended up being one of the world's greatest march composers, and left a whole bunch of legacy in Fort Dodge, Iowa. So if you're ever there, check out Carl King's library at the high school. We're going to move on now. What are we doing next? We're going to talk to some animals. This is one of Bud's old-time favorites. He loves this from the Dr. Dolittle movie in the 60s. So if you remember that, you're going to have a lot of fun with this one. We'll talk to the animals. Well, before we get too far into the program, let's give another round of applause for the Great Falls Police Department for that fantastic ceremony. We sure appreciate our police and the job that they do to keep us safe here in Great Falls. And another round of applause for the choir. It's nice to hear the national anthem sung. Yay! I like how you make them wear the shirts so that they don't wander off. You see where you are at all times. So yes, we are the Municipal Band. We are happy to be here, and when we're not here, every other week we're down at Gibson Park in the band shell at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. So bring your family and friends who are coming out to that. We'd love to see you. It seems like it always takes a while for people to remember that the concerts are going, and then when we get into August, we get these big crowds, and everybody's like, "You're done?" Well, yeah, that's because summer's coming to an end. So come early and come often, and we would love to see you down there. We are completely self-funded from generous donations from people like you, and the way you can help us out is put money in that sousaphone over there where it says feed me. So if you like what you're hearing, throw a couple bucks in there or write a nice big check. We'll take that too. But we would love to have you help us out a little bit so we can look at buying new music and keeping things going with our municipal band. Since we are kind of heading into the patriotic week here, I just got back from Washington, D.C. myself. I was one of those 9,000 people, or 9,000 flights delayed trying to get back. It's been a hectic couple of days, but everything is gearing up in Washington, D.C. right now for patriotic celebrations, and I thought this would be a nice addition to that program. This one is from the Saving Private Ryan movie. Steven Spielberg directed that. Tom Hanks starred in it. Fantastic movie. And this is John Williams' Hymn to the Fallen. Special shout out to Mr. Luke Banks on the snare drum there. Nice job, Luke. And the woodwinds, they had all those notes. And we almost got all of them. It was great. We're going to change gears now, and I've already forgotten what we're doing. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. My body's sort of on Eastern time, and my brain's on 2 days of standby time. So I really don't know where I am. But we'll do this one in one. Okay. I guess I can't lean on that either. So this is Belle of the Ball. This is Leroy Anderson, another staple of our conducting and repertoire that we like to play in the Municipal Band. Leroy Anderson is just an American treasure. This one doesn't get played as much as some of his other hits, but I really like this one. So it's kind of an old-fashioned waltz, the Belle of the Ball. If you feel so inclined, you can get up and dance along with this. It's pretty easy. You can just spin in a circle. It works well. Belle of the Ball. I just love that one. All right, now we're going into some interesting territory. We're going to go into what was really popular when I was kind of an up-and-comer. I remember playing these tunes back in junior high when I was 7, 8, 9. These were the kind of songs that got all of us kids that were in band really excited about being in band. When you were able to get away from your small elementary school and put everybody together in a great big band room. I think our 7th and 8th grade bands back then were like 80 kids. I don't know how our director put up with us. There's nothing worse than 80 8th graders in one room at the end of the day. It leads to alcoholism and all sorts of problems. But these are the tunes that kept us excited, and this is one of James Swearingen's best. It's called Invicta. It's kind of an overture style, so it'll sort of have a fast opening and then a little kind of lyrical section in the middle, and then it'll come back to some fast stuff at the end. We hope you enjoy Invicta.
Invicta,
Invicta. I still remember the day that our junior high band director was like, you realize now that the middle theme is at the end and it's fast, and my mind just kind of went, oh my gosh, that is so cool. What a great way to teach kids about music and get them excited about it too. We've reached the halfway point. That's amazing. It went fast. Okay, yeah. So we're now going to invite our friends from the Paris Gibson Society Committee. We should upgrade you to society. That sounds even better. But if we could have the Paris Gibson Committee come on up. We have a fantastic award winner, and we like to honor our Paris Gibson Award winners here at this concert. So come on up, Susie and Mayor Bob Kelly.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to make a note to Dusty and the crew here. I live right next to Paris Gibson Park, and half of the crowd is over there waiting for you, just so you know. And I'm not kidding. There's a dozen lawn chairs set up, the senior row with all the people in their car are there with their lights on, they're waiting. I made that mistake 8 years ago, and I had to run down here to do what I'm about to do.
If only we had devices that could like instantaneously let people know about events.
We don't. Secondly, I think I'd be remiss. I see an old friend sitting in the front row. I'd like us all to welcome and thank Bud Nichols for being here tonight. But we're going to give you a chair next year down at the Gibson Band Shelf and direct people down here if you would, okay? Appreciate that. The other thing I want to mention too, Dusty up here is referring to 8th grade and middle school, and of course for him that was a really long time ago, not quite 130 years ago, but he was right behind the class that Bud was in. And I'd just like to ask all the members of the band up here, if you started your musical education in Great Falls Public Schools, would you please stand up? That's a great tribute to Dusty and to our school system that puts the arts and music right up front, and we continue to do that with one of the best music programs in all the Rocky Mountain West. So, Dusty, we're so proud of the work that you and the musicians here and also those younger people do. Thank you for that. Okay, see, they gave me something really short to read, so I had to speak a little bit longer here. I do have a proclamation, and once again, Paris Gibson Month is always July, and that's what I'm about to read this proclamation for. It says, whereas Paris Gibson was the founder of Great Falls in 1884, and whereas he had the vision of a great planned city filled with parks and trees, and he saw our city utilizing the water power of the falls to create business and industry. And he was our first mayor, our state senator, and United States senator. And whereas July 1, 2023 marks the 193rd birthday of Paris Gibson. Now therefore I, Bob Kelly, the Mayor of Great Falls, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2023 as Paris Gibson Month. In witness whereof I have set Great Falls, Montana, and I invite all citizens to pay homage to this great man of vision. It's signed with an official seal, it's got a signature on it, so it must be true. Here it is. And I can't think of a better person to represent Paris Gibson's vision and his idea of community involvement and civic pride than our newest Paris Gibson Award winner, who I'll let Susie introduce. Susie?
Thank you, Mayor Kelly. Not to curry favor, but Mayor Kelly has been a great mayor. I mean, anytime we ask him to come and speak at something, he's there. And if we ask him to do a proclamation, he does it. So thank you, Mayor Kelly. And mine is very short. On behalf of the Paris Gibson Committee, I'd like to thank all of you for allowing the presentation of the 2023 Paris Gibson Award to take place at this wonderful concert. The Paris Gibson Committee is made up of community members and organizations who love Great Falls, and believe and want to help the community remember the legacy of Paris Gibson and continue his work to build a better city. If you're a member of the committee, would you raise your hand? Woo! So 2023 marks Paris Gibson's 193rd birthday and the 13th annual celebration of Paris Gibson Month. Each year we ask for nominations for the Paris Gibson Award. We are looking to honor persons who have provided a significant impact to the city, have provided leadership for the community through volunteerism, and have performed selfless action for the betterment of the community. This year, we are happy to celebrate a woman who exemplifies all of these qualities. Through her work at Camp Francis, Peace Hospice, and the Great Falls Public Schools, Kathy Van Tighem is a true leader who makes our community a better place. To quote from her nomination, Kathy embodies the true spirit of what is the most valuable asset we can give away, our time. In today's society, where there is a metric to measure every second of our daily lives, Kathy's impact, selfless actions, and leadership simply cannot be measured. Kathy, as the award winner, has received a $500 check provided by Jimmy and Debbie Filipowitz of Steel Etc. to give to the charity of her choice. We have a tree donated by Steve Tilleris of Tilleris Landscape Nursery planted in West Bank Park, along with a granite marker donated by Montana Granite. She gets a dinner for two at P. Gibson's, donated by P. Gibson Sports Grill. And I'm jealous. She gets to ride in the 1918 Model T with Kurt Baltrush in the 4th of July parade. And this lovely plaque donated by Greg and Leanne Hall. So please join me in congratulating Kathy Van Tighem for being the winner of the 2023 Paris Gibson Award.
Thank you so much. Thanks to the City of Great Falls for this recognition, the committee, the band for giving me a few minutes of your time. This is very humbling. I oftentimes think that there are a lot of people in our community who are doing really good things and have been for a very long time. So it's very humbling to be recognized for that. It's also very special to be recognized for my work. I work beside fabulous people in Great Falls Public Schools, Dusty being one of them, a good friend and colleague, and as well as volunteers from Camp Francis and Darcy's Hope. I am going to donate my $500 to children's bereavement through Peace Hospice at Benefis Healthcare. The program allows volunteers to walk beside children who have experienced a significant loss. And this is our 30th camp because of the vision of Carol Holoboff, much like the vision of Paris Gibson. Our volunteers and donors, partners like Rotary and Benefis allow us to do that work so that the kids know that there is healing in grief and that they're not alone. So one of my favorite volunteers from camp, Chris Southall, and a very good friend, shares a quote that says, Rumi says, there are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. So I would encourage everyone to look around our community. There are lots of opportunities to give back. It could be at your local school or a neighbor in need, and just encourage you to carry on the vision of Paris Gibson and continue to make our community great. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations, Kathy. Well earned, well earned. Yeah, so now's the time when we were going to talk just a little bit about our sponsors. We have fantastic sponsors that help us out with our concerts. So I would like to thank these great folks, and when I read this list, I'll have you join me in thanking them at the end. So this week's concert is sponsored in part by Donna Zook, PhD, Horizon Credit Union, Montana Credit Union, Thelma and John Zeller Incorporated, and the Wayne Kelly family. Would you please join me in thanking them? We greatly appreciate their sponsorships, and if you know a business or an individual that would like to contribute more to the band foundation, we would love to talk to you, so come and see us there. And you can always, again, just throw a couple bucks in the Zoot over there in the sousaphone, and it all goes to help make these concerts keep going. We want to go to 140, because then it'll be a really cool anniversary for Bud. I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm just returning from a trip to Washington, D.C. I was out there for the National Association for Music Education. I'm on the national executive board for that. We had a big assembly, and then we did Hill Day, where we got to go talk to senators and representatives about the power of the arts and the good things that we do in schools. And I have to tell you, it is really amazing to be in this town, to have a band like this that's been doing something like this for 130 years. Obviously, we've been keeping track of that. The school music programs that we do have, and then the support that we get from a community like you. It doesn't happen without thought and foresight from great minds that want to bring culture to their town. And so Paris Gibson being one of those first people who did a planned community basically in the middle of nowhere, saw the potential to have industry unite with culture and the parks, and then a band comes along because of the industry at the smelter, and because that was important to the culture. And here we are 130 some years later still celebrating that. Washington, D.C. is full of monuments for this kind of thing, and we've got ours too here in town. We've got the band shell, we've got the Civic Center, which is built in the late 30s. We've got all these historic buildings around here. In many ways, our town is very resembling of Washington, D.C. And I gotta tell you, I was a little teary-eyed, not because I've been on delay status for 2 days, but when we finally got into Great Falls last night, I was catching that Delta flight back that pulls you in about 10:30. And you see the twinkling lights of Great Falls coming up, and you see the Missouri River coming through. And then the ballpark was still having a game going on, so you can see the ballpark, you can see the lights at the dam, 10th Avenue South is all lit up, airport's glowing. It's a magical place that we live in, it really is. And we need to remind ourselves of that. We kind of live in utopia out here. It's a special place. So don't forget. All right. One of the big 3 marches that everybody likes to hear on the 4th of July is National Emblem by E.E. Bagley. If you listen close and if we play it right, the first string is the Star Spangled Banner. Well, they've got another opportunity to be generous too, because Miss Linda's was providing the pre-service entertainment for us, and they did a fantastic job with that. They're passing the buckets around. The kids have the buckets here, so if you'd like to help out Miss Linda and her group, put some money in that bucket too. All right. Like I said, I'm running on no sleep. It's for the band. It's not for Miss Linda. We'll give you $1. Thank you. All right. Well, one of the things that Bud kind of got into the habit of after 200 years of directing the band was doing musical selections kind of at this point in the program. And movies are sort of the new musical. So we're going to do a movie medley. This one's called Hollywood Milestones. There are at least 11 movie themes in here. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but maybe at the end I'll give you some hints. Let's see if you can count 11. And if you're really into your classical music, there's sort of a hidden theme, not the enigma variations, but kind of an enigma that will pop out every now and then. See if you can identify that. But this is Hollywood Milestones, arranged by John Higgins. Now, if you missed the first one, I don't know what to tell you, but that was Jaws. And then, where do I begin? From what movie? Love Story. Because everybody knows after you've been eaten by a shark, you've got a love story. That cracks me up, that transition. Then after that, we're into Star Trek, the motion picture, one where they all made lots of money. And then after that, it was Raiders March from Indiana Jones, the first one. Then we had Chariots of Fire. Anybody remember seeing Chariots of Fire? Yeah, I wanted to run in slow motion for you, but I thought that would be too much. Back to the Future after that. And then a little bit from E.T., the extraterrestrial. And after that, when we featured some saxophones, it could have been scary, but they did a great job. Beauty and the Beast. So, they did a nice job there. Then it was Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, the main title came from Forrest Gump. And the last kind of patriotic one was Apollo 13. All right, did anybody hear the hidden song inside? Pictures at an Exhibition by Modest Mussorgsky. Dee dom dom da da dee da dee dom dom bom bom bom. And the theme is you're walking from picture to picture, just like we took you from movie to movie. All right, there you go. Hollywood milestones. All right, another staple that we like to do around this time of the year is America the Beautiful. This is a great arrangement by Johnny Kakavas, who arranged for all sorts of bands way back in the day, mostly military bands, but did some great stuff for schools too. America the Beautiful. That's just a great tune, isn't it? He just whistled that one all day long. America the Beautiful. Well, now we're going to change it up quite a bit, and we're going to do sort of a Latin thing for you. This is called Cha Cha for Band, arranged by Glenn Osser. Back in the day, these were kind of revolutionary. It's hard to think now with how much Latin music is part of our popular culture anymore, like in the 50s when this stuff hit for the first time, when the bossa nova and the samba and some of these other dance kind of crazes came out of the jazz world and the Caribbean and South America and started becoming popular music. And now it's just like, oh yeah, the cha-cha. But back in 1950, it would have been, what? What is this incredible new music that you're talking about? So everybody was learning all these brand new dances, and it was a lot of fun. And then to have one for concert band was more revolutionary yet. So cha-cha for band. If you want to dance, Miss Linda's kids can help you. All right. We should have put a tip jar up on the piano with that one. Okay, now we have this tradition to play an armed service medley, and this year we are introducing a new theme in the salute to the armed forces. So Space Force has actually got a tune now. It's official. We're licensed to play it. We did all the right copyright things with the Air Force. And so if you haven't heard the Space Force, you're going to get to hear that today. This is a different arrangement than we've been playing for many, many years though, because obviously we added the Space Force in there. So it's a little out of order than what we normally do. So all of you Air Force folks, your song is in the middle, it's not at the end. So you really have to listen, I'll help you out. But the tradition is when your service song is played, if you are in that branch of the service, or if you have family and you want to represent family that were in that branch of the service, you may stand up while that service medley is played. And if you were in multiple branches, or if you have family that are in multiple branches, you can stand as many times as you want. So this is Salute to the Armed Forces with the new edition of Space Force. those of you that stood, thank you so much for your service. And if you had members of your family, thank you for their service as well. Well, now we come to one that really doesn't need an introduction. It's basically our national march, John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever. If you haven't had enough patriotic music, we're just about there. I don't know how much more we can give you, but this is the biggie, Stars and Stripes Forever, so please enjoy. Oh, thank you so much. All right, you can keep standing. We're going to invite the choir to come back up on the risers here. We've got a special treat for you to end the concert. Traditionally, we always end with the singing of Montana, which we will do tonight, but we're going to have way more singing than normal. It's going to be great. And you're going to hear parts of the song that maybe you haven't heard since grade school, because we usually just do the big old chorus. But if you haven't heard the story of this tune, it was actually written by a Broadway kind of superstar by the name of Joseph Howard, who was just happened to pass through Butte and did a great job at a concert there. And there was a very wealthy patron of the arts who had actually been in Broadway back with him in the day. And she said, you know what, I can't believe you sang a song about Illinois in that program and you're in the state of Montana. She said, I think you can do better. And he was like, you know what, I can. And they grabbed the city editor of the Butte Miner, and they sat down, and he kind of came up with a tune on the piano, and Charles Cohen wrote the words. And they came back about half an hour later, and they said, here you go, here's your song. And they performed it for the governor in Helena the next day. The governor loved it, called it the official state song by then. And here's where it comes into Great Falls, because we are the black hole of the musical universe. That touring troupe came up to Great Falls because it was state fair time. And the Black Eagle Community Band, which is this band, had a full orchestration by the third day, and they played the state song at the state fair. Yeah! That was way before the internet, too. So we have a very special arrangement of this that the choir is going to lead us in. You're going to hear them obviously sing, and then it'll be pretty obvious when you get to join. Hint, hint, it's with the band. Right? And this is arranged by Laura Dietrich, a member of the choir. Where's Laura at? Yeah. So Laura did this great arrangement. So Cindy, I'm going to let you kick it off, and we'll see you at the end. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. We will have a concert next Wednesday, July 5th at the band show. We will be back at the band show next week at 7 o'clock. We'll see you then. Travel safe.